Hi, my name's Tom Parsons from Outside the Square Canvas. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to attach D-rings and hanging wire to the back of your picture frames or canvases so that you can hang your artwork on your own wall at home. I'm going to be showing you a few simple tips and tricks that make attaching the D-rings and hanging wire that much easier and much more professional. So it's a pretty simple process. There's a few steps, the first of which is whether or not you're attaching the wire to the canvas or the picture frame. In a lot of cases, you might just be hanging a canvas with no frame. So in that case, you can usually just screw the screw directly into the pine stretcher. You don't need to pre-drill holes. But for frames, especially hardwood frames like these, I always recommend pre-drilling the hole first, so doing a pilot hole. So basically I use a very small drill bit. This is a 2.5mm drill bit. Attach it to my powered drill, so it's my Makita drill here, and measure the holes. So you want to measure a distance from the top. So say this is going to be the top of my artwork here. So this is a blank canvas and frame pack, but this is going to be the top. You wouldn't put your wire directly in the middle. You generally have it about 1/3 from the top of the frame or canvas. So I just measured down. I measured this by sight about 8 centimeters down, and as I'm doing a batch of them here, I wanted them to be consistent. So I measured all the holes, and then I just pre-drilled a pilot hole. Now I've done this one already, so to save drilling an unnecessary hole, I'll show you what I do. But I measure it and I'm just drilling a small pilot hole. So basically that's the size of the pilot hole there. I'll show you up close. So yeah, it's a very small little pilot hole there. Once we've drilled our pilot holes on either side of the frame or canvas, just need to take our D-ring and line it up with one of the pilot holes, grab your little screw, hold it in place, and then with a drill, or you can use a Phillips head screwdriver as well, we're going to just slowly screw the screw into place. Why slowly? Because if you go too quickly, sometimes even though you've drilled your pilot hole, you still run the risk of the timber splitting. It really just comes down to the quality of the timber and whether or not there is maybe an inconsistency in the grain where you're putting that screw. But yeah, that's why I just tend to go a little bit slower. Then we'll put the other one in on the other side. Okay, so now that both of our screws are in place, we're going to grab a bit of the coated wire. So this is it here. So yeah, it's just a wire coated in like a rubberized plastic, and we cut it so that we have about 3 or 4 inches of spare wire either side, because basically what we're going to do is as follows. So we're going to thread the wire through both of the rings so that it's centered, roughly centered anyway. Now for a small canvas like this, all I need to do is first, you can kind of crimp the wire or just use your fingers, and then I'm going to start to wind the wire around itself. You can kind of start one side off and then start the other, because that can kind of give you enough tension then to complete spooling the wire around itself. So there, I've started both, and now I'm just going to go back to the other side, and using this index finger, kind of holding the wire in place as I'm tightly pulling this wire around itself. And it's basically bending and spooling around itself. And you only need to do it about that much, maybe 6 or 7 times around. And I'll just get my pliers and clip the excess wire, and that's it. So that's what the wire would look like. Now on the other side, I'll just do the same thing. Clip it. So that's it. So that's the wire in place. Now there is another method to doing this for larger sized frames, which I'll demonstrate on the next one. So now the reason you don't need to do this on smaller frames or canvases is just because basically they're not heavy enough to warrant this kind of knot or this kind of loop in the wire. But we're going to do the same process as before. Get your wire through both rings, and then, hang on a sec. So, and then rather than just winding it around itself like we did in the last one, we're going to loop the wire behind. So basically it comes through the D-ring, behind the wire, back through the D-ring. So can you see that there? And then under itself like that. Now this is actually a lot easier on a larger size, like a larger size frame or canvas. And then I'm just using pliers to kind of pull it. But basically it's like a knot. I'm just tying a knot in the wire, which just makes it a bit more secure. What I do sometimes, so once you've tied that knot, is I'll go to the other side and I'm basically just going to pull. And you'll see the knot's tightening. It does require a bit of strength. That's the only thing. And anyway, let's come and have a look. And that's it. So see how it's kind of knotted around itself? And then we just do the same process as the first one with the remaining wire. Just kind of spool it around itself 2 or 3 times. And then clip that little bit of excess just to neaten it up. So that's what I would do on larger size canvases and frames. This knot technique as opposed to just winding the wire around itself, because once there's a bit more weight in the frame, once you hang it on the wall and the weight of the pictures pulling down on the wire can unravel. Whereas with this knot, it's a much more surefire method of basically attaching the wire. So that's it. So there you have it. D-rings and wire attached. It's really simple. Hopefully some of those tips and tricks were helpful for you if you're a bit stuck when you're doing it yourself. If you have any questions about our products, so our canvas and float frame packs or our round canvases and round frames, please visit our website outsidethesquare.net.au. Our business is located in Australia, and at the moment we do only service Australia and Australian artists, but please feel free to reach out if you do have any questions at all. I'm always happy to hear from artists all around the world. Once again, hope this was helpful. Thanks again for tuning in, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe or leave a comment with any other ideas, thoughts, or any other ideas for future videos. Thanks again. See ya.